Hey guys, David Peabody's Paradise, and I just wanted to talk to you guys today about starting your own business. Just had a lot of people asking me about it, a couple of YouTube guys and some other chat room forum people just kind of asking the basic, just how do I do what you do? And it's not really that difficult, but I do suggest to do your homework. That's the biggest thing. You need to actually really, and if you don't really have a good understanding of what you need to do, you need to consult some professional to make sure you cover all your bases. But basically, it starts out, obviously with a plan. Figure out what you want to do, how you're going to do it. And with a lot of stuff like fish breeding, plant stuff, a lot of that you can do as a hobbyist for a while until you get move up to the level of where you're actually going to become a business. So I suggest doing that first, like getting really comfortable with it, figuring out where your market's at and what you want to do, because everybody I know that does this, they've all kind of started out with one thing, changed it around or modified it, and try to figure out what actually works. And it takes time, and it takes a lot of failure, and it takes a lot of guesswork and planning. It's just how it works. Not everything you want to do will work out, and sometimes that evolves into something else. So I suggest doing that, but skipping ahead to the technical parts, and this is different in every state. But I can tell you here, the first thing to do is to come up with a business name and file for your articles of organization. That's where you pick your LLC, or if it's a sole proprietorship or whatever, and that's another thing that you need to study and understand when you pick out for your business. So if you get that done, and then at that point, in this state, if you're doing plants or fish, you will need to get a if you're doing plants, then you're going to have to become a licensed nursery. Like the state of Florida requires anybody that distributes or grows or whatever, does anything to do with plants, live plants, even aquatic plants, to become a licensed nursery. And that just means that they have one of the Department of Agriculture people come out and inspect your facility and make sure that everything's okay, and do an annual inspection and making sure that you're doing everything according to law. And it's not that expensive, but there is some paperwork involved, and it is some hoop jumping type stuff, but that's what you have to do here. Some other states are not as bad about it, but this state is particularly involved just because we have so many invasives and so many other things going on here. So that's why they're very particular about it. But it's not too difficult. You need to get the permit as a nursery. Once you get registered as a nursery, then at that point you can fish a license, and that's the same thing as like a business license that any business would have, and that's even if you're working out of your house, you still need an occupational license from the county or the city that you're in, and that basically gives you the right to have your business there, and so that the county, I guess, can keep track of that and get your share. So that's part of it, so make sure you register as a business legally, do all your tax stuff and all that, then make sure you're okay with Department of Agriculture. If you're a plant person, if you're a fish person, then you just need to get an aquaculture certificate, and then possibly like a dealer permit, or if you're actually collecting, then a freshwater, saltwater, commercial license. There's several things, but definitely do your homework, because there's no excuse for not doing your homework. And if you do this as a business and you're not doing it legally, then there is a lot of legal recourse. They can come and just throw the book at you, because being ignorant of what is required of you is not an excuse to not do it. So I definitely suggest you do whatever your state is asking, and if you don't know, Google it, find out who's in the Department of Agriculture you can contact, or just anybody that's somewhat related to it government wise. Contact them and ask, and just see, make sure that you're good to go, because you don't want to play around with them. These guys don't play around. So other than that, that's it. And then just figure out what you're gonna do. And I honestly suggest getting a game plan down and putting it into action before you even become a business. Especially if you're like a fish breeder, that's something that you can set up long before you sell any fish. You can go ahead and get all your stuff set up, get good at it. Getting the equipment is easy. That just costs money and time, but getting good at the process and having the time and figuring out how to really streamline the breeding process is not easy. I mean, these guys that do it, I commend them, and I have a lot of respect for what they do, because it is hard work. I mean, it's no joke. These guys that do the big cichlids and all that stuff, those guys, I mean, it's not hard, or it's not easy. I'm sorry, it's not easy at all. Same thing though with plants. If you're gonna start growing your own plants, go ahead and start growing your plants, and then start selling them on the forums or Aquabid or eBay or whatever. You can do that as a hobbyist for a while until you get up to another level with it. So I really suggest doing that and getting a good idea of what it's gonna take equipment wise and everything else before you really jump into it, because not everybody is really well suited for this. Not everybody has got the time, effort, or whatever to do it, or they figure out that this angle is just not for them. So either way, that's what I would start with. And if you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, we'll just go from there. But yeah, I mean, good luck with what you do. If you have any questions or whatever, just hit me up. If it's something personal, then just message me and we'll talk about it. But if it's something I can answer publicly, then I'll be glad to do that too, because I like helping everybody out. So alright guys, have a great weekend. Freebie Friday tonight, so hopefully I'll get around to making the video, but I will see you guys tonight. Have a good one. Bye.